Hello, my name is Jason and welcome back to I Have a Story. I had made a video and had been talking about with the Honey Boo Boo storyline that I was going with. And I'm not sure exactly where all that falls, and I just decided to take down that video I'd made about Honey Boo Boo for the moment at least until I don't want to give people false information. I don't know how. Only thing Google will tell me is that she died and somebody else is telling me she's not, and I don't even know how that could even work, and I just don't have the time to sit and try to hunt for how it don't know. With the vast knowledge at our fingertips, I don't understand why we have to even hunt. We should be able to find stories simple and not just get the same article just by different people over and over. And I made a follow-up video. I'd made many videos that burned up with my house, and I don't remember all the things I said and things that I had noted and all the information I'd gathered to make those videos, and now I'm at a loss with some of that, obviously. But part I wanted to talk about is, people want to sit here and question, why do kids eat Tide Pods? How do they not know any better than to not eat a Tide Pod? Well, part of that, there's several reasons, and then part of that is how many of those kids have sat back and watched Jackass over and over and over? And then we wonder why we have a world of jackasses. And for me, the problem isn't that we have that stuff to view. The two main problems I really have with it is the money that goes into all of that, when our systems and so many things that are actually important to us are so underfunded. But yet that's worth millions of dollars in so much glorification over being a jackass and causing bodily harm to yourself and others. And now we have rampant social media of jackasses trying to get attention. But why do kids not know any better than to not eat a Tide Pod? Well, it's not just because they've been watching Jackass and all the other jackasses of the world and wanting to become one. The real reason comes down to the parents. Parents are not as much a part of the children's lives as they used to be. How many of you know what your kids are actually doing every day? On a daily basis, and their interactions and what they're actually spending hours watching all day long. I can tell you as a parent, I'm with my kids 24/7. Daddy time comes when kids are napping, snack time. I try to give my kids individual time and time together, so while they're doing their little stuff together and being brother, sister, Daddy will go do, and I'm not sitting here entertaining myself. That's when I do my chores. And then when does it become daddy time? When my kids go to bed at night. That's when I sit down and say, you know what? Daddy needs some entertainment now too. But that's not what I see go on so much around me. And I talked in one of my videos, there was a woman I watched at my son's baseball game who lost her daughter multiple times at an enormous park. I believe there's 4 or 6 baseball diamonds, 2 or 3 playgrounds. I mean, this is a mile by a mile park, and not in a very safe and good part of town. But yet she's staring at her phone, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, not work, and not even that stuff I'm tired of hearing about work is more important than our kids. I ran into the UPS driver the other day in town, and I can tell, I feel it, and I don't just walk away. I saw sadness. He was hurt, pain. I don't know. Only know by asking. So hey man, how's it going? Kind of dug around just a little bit, found out he just got a text message from the school that his daughter's being rushed to the emergency room, but he doesn't know why, and he can't call in contact and talk to anybody. So he calls up the shop. Hey, my daughter's being rushed to the emergency room. I got a message from school. I don't know what's going on. No, you need to finish your route. You're not going to check on your daughter. Because our country is now, we've made it where work is more important than family and children. It used to be God, family, country. That used to be what it was. Now, is that what it is anymore? It just seems to be economy and politics and insanity. And we wonder why there's so much chaos in this world. Wasn't there a day when all of this luxurious, glorified technology that was given to us that was supposed to make us better people, give us more time with our children, more time with our families, more time to ourselves? Is that really what happened to it? I mean, this again, I'm finding out now, learning more and more that my life was just a lie that I was taught my whole childhood all the way up until now, and I'm supposed to now somehow be a model citizen and not lose my mind? In my case, even more so with things you hear me talk about that I've seen and has taken place in my life, but even as a country as a whole. Look at the wash machine. No more washing by hand. Save you so much time and work and effort and energy. No, instead you just have to work 80 hours a week to pay for that washing machine. Wow, that was worth the trade-off, wasn't it? I'd rather wash my clothes by hand and be home with my family and taking care of my kids and spending time teaching and knowing my kids are learning and not just being fed a bunch of garbage. It really frustrates me that parents are like, kids are kids, just let them go be kids. To an extent, yeah, you do. But at the same time, you still have to be a part of their life. What does a kid want more than anything as a child? Every child I've ever met, they want their parents' attention. But now parents are too busy looking at their phones and faces at screens and games and toys and adult entertainment that they don't pay attention to their kids. That's where the biggest problem comes in. It's not the fact that kids have seen this stuff, because I share it with my children. Sit down and watch a show and say, this just happens in the world. Ha ha ha, somebody did something funny. But don't be like that. That's not what we have today. Too many people want to just try to top it. And when does the top pop? Well, I think we're seeing it today. Part of why I talk about we need a reset in our country. Because things can only go so high. You can only fill any jug, any bottle, any container so full, and the top is going to pop. And we're seeing it today. So many topics I could run off of on that. But that's what we see today. Where does it go from here? How much further can it go? How much more insanity can we make of things before we are just devastated? How many of you are actually happy going to work and working that 60, 50 hours a week? And I mean, even include your drive time, take out your lunch break. That's still not time for you and your family. And all for what? Because we care so much about global warming and pollution. And I mean, that's actually what it's all about. It's such an insane cyclic routine. We all know everything now is disposable, but yet we're still going to cry and spend millions of dollars, poison our environment even more over the ideology of global warming, pollution, and natural resources. Wait a second. We're doing the complete... this is insanity to me. Insanity. Keep going to work those hours, fill our landfills, spend more money, live that cyclic circle, don't pay attention to your kids, don't have time to yourself, run like a rampant dog chasing its tail in a circle non-stop, and then wonder why people are having so many problems. How did we lose pride? I mean, there used to be pride in buying something, enjoying it for your lifetime, and then passing it down to generations after you. Now you're lucky to get a year out of something. There's no pride in that, and that all plays a whole role, and hopefully my videos will all come together at the end of me talking and presenting this information that I am, that you'll see how it all relates together and where it all ends up in the end. I don't just sit here, I can't make a 4-hour video. I did that once, and you know, I'm not, that's not the way I'm playing here. I'm going to try to make small videos, and hopefully they all come together at the end, and hopefully people will go back and put this knowledge together and see how it all comes together at the end. So that's where I have a big problem with this stuff on TV. Some of it can be funny, some of it can be entertaining. In the end, a lot of it's pretty gross and grotesque. And it's creating unhealthy habits in our life and our children, and making not only those things okay and to do, but we're going to glorify them so people want to be like that. And the problem all comes down to the people, and the parents are the number one step and start of that. The parents have to know the difference between right and wrong and bad and good, and even know that there's bad out there. Don't hide it all from your kids. You've got to let them know that there's bad out there. But let them know the difference between good and bad and right and wrong, and not to act like that, and actually spend time with them teaching it yourself. Because that is where it starts. So that's where I really have a problem with the TV shows and with that kind of stuff, it isn't necessarily that it's there. It's overpaid in that too many kids are watching too much of it, wanting to become glorified like it, and parents aren't taking care of their children and teaching them right and wrong. Instead, we're letting society raise them, and look what it's doing to them all. Wonders.